glad you're all here. Praise the Lord. Justin is here. Tammy is here. Suzanne is here. I'm glad you're all here. All the rest is here. Please show yourself in the live chat. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, can you all? Yes, you can all hear me. That's good. I made a live stream earlier today about what was it about again? Oh, about not carrying that weight with you. Now, tonight, well, it's not night, it's evening, but it's almost night. I want to talk about this phrase that many people in the world believe in. That's privacy is power. Well, no, it's not. First of all, privacy is not a real thing. It doesn't exist. It's something humans make up to make themselves feel in control. Look, there's a difference between protect concealing data and this thing called privacy. Concealing data is something humans always have done. It's proper to conceal certain data, so not everyone can access all data. Why? Because data can be abused and misused. That's obvious, especially people have bad intentions. So concealing data, that's not privacy. That's just common sense to conceal data. Privacy is this claim that you are entitled to control what others know about you. So it's all about control. You have the right to also do whatever you want and without anyone know what you're doing. But look at this. What you're doing affects other people directly or indirectly. So why shouldn't anyone know what you're doing? Oh, if others do things, whether it's in your face or behind the scenes and affects you the wrong way, you get upset. You feel like you're the victim. But when you do something behind the scenes, you want everyone else to shut the hell up because you will what you will. You see, that's narcissistic. So privacy is a narcissistic concept that people endorse because they feel entitled to will whatever they will. Oh, but it's only a problem if someone else wills whatever they will, and they need to deal with the consequences. They're going to say we never asked for this. Oh, okay, but when you will what you will, you don't care whether others ask for it or not. You will what you will. The others have to take it. So privacy is a hoax. Privacy is a narcissistic concept. And this is an anthropologist speaking over here. If you want to debate me, come with anthropological knowledge. Thank you. Now, privacy, as I mentioned already, is a hoax. So there's no real power nor strength in it. Now, people use violence if others don't allow them to control them, because privacy is all about controlling other people. If you don't allow, if and here's the thing, if you don't submit to this control claim, people turn on you. They either sue you, get the police involved, or they act out physically against you. Now, I'm not saying that you can never conceal what you're doing. I didn't say that. I didn't say that you have to be an like a piece of glass transparent to everyone, because that can be dangerous. Not even Jesus was transparent towards everyone, because not everyone deserves or should be involved and knowledgeable of what you're doing, especially those who are up to no good. So what I'm teaching here is that concealing data and concealing certain activities is important, but only for practical and constructive reasons. Any other type of concealment is just wickedness. Simple as that. For example, someone asks you where your son is, and you have no idea what their intentions are, then you just lie to them about not lie, but you just say they give them false information. It's not lying if you do it to protect lives. If someone asks you where your son is and they pretend to be a friend from school, but you don't get a good feeling, you tell, oh, my son's at the supermarket while your son's actually inside, you're doing the right thing. That's not lying. If someone, if your spouse asks you how late you are out of work, and you say at 7 p.m. While you're out at 5 p.m. because for the next 2 hours you want to party with your friends, that means that the trust in your marriage is not proper. Now, this is lying because now you're breaking trust. If you have police officers arresting you and ask you questions, but you have a right to remain silent, and you're not cooperating with them, that's not lying, because there was never a context of trust over there. But if one of the neighborhood guards who has been looking after you or is asking you something and you don't tell them what is going on, now that is lying. So lying isn't just telling things that aren't true. It depends on the context. Oh, and look at this. Governments do this all the time, concealing things from the public or giving half truths. But when they do it, it's not lying. When the public does it, it is lying. Okay. So just think about it. So privacy is not power. This belief in privacy is a delusion, because this privacy delusion has a mother delusion that it comes forth from. That's the idea of free will. That you are this sovereign entity with a final will. You're not. Get over it. Now, what is power? Being prudent. Prudence is power, not privacy. Again, I didn't tell you to be transparent like a piece of glass so that everyone can see everything about you. I did not say that. What I said is you have to be prudent so that even if people find out things about you, you're already ahead of them figuring it out. Because this is what you need to understand. Nothing remains hidden on the earth. Some things remain hidden during his lifetime. When Christ comes back, they're exposed. Other things are exposed right here. Look, even before the internet, things got exposed. All right? So if even before the internet things got exposed, what do you think that today is going to happen? Before there was any media to any hard disk to save photos and music and film upon, before all the technology things got exposed, things came out. So what do you think is going to happen today? Look, be ahead of people discovering things about you. Let's say that 10 years ago you used to be in a gang, but nobody knows that, and you conceal the fact you were part of a gang. Is that lying? No. Because if people find out that you were part of a gang, they may use it against you in the present. Even though you haven't been in a gang for over 10 years, even though you're not the same individual anymore, people use against you. So you can conceal you were part of a gang. But also be prepared. If people find out of the blue, oh, you used to be part of a gang, be ready to deal with that. So if you're right thinking ahead, thinking, you know what, yes, I was part of a gang. Back then I was young. Back then I was messed up, this and that. But hey, that's why I went into therapy. That's why there's all of that. And look at me today. So have a constructive answer ready in case you find out. Don't think, oh, I used to be in a gang 10 years ago. Well, there were no pictures, nothing taken, so it's over. Listen, those fellow gang members that you used to hang around, they're still around. They carry the memories. There may have been pictures taken, or maybe someone remembers you. So don't think that everyone forgot that you're part of a gang, because there's still people on the earth alive to also know that you're alive now, knowing you're part of a gang. So you don't have to go and tell everyone you used to be part of a gang. No, but be prepared in case it comes out that you have a constructive answer to calm down the public. As simple as that. It's not about hiding everything. It's about being prudent about everything. Simple as that. And here's another thing. This whole belief in privacy makes people think that hiding things is the best way to go. Oh, and let me tell you one thing. The best way to hide is in plain sight. Oh, I want you to think about this. When something is in plain sight, everyone can see it. So it's not hidden. So how can you hide in plain sight? You hide in plain sight by showing what you're up to without actually telling it. When you show what you're up to without telling it, if later people complain, you can always say, but hold on a minute, I've always been this way. For example, let's say you just got you just opened a shop in, let's say, the Philippines, in Asia. And now you keep talking to people about, man, I would like to do business with Asian businessmen because they're quite disciplined. They say you keep talking about this. People then tell you, man, stop talking about that. You're not even a businessman yourself, and those Asians are quite xenophobic. This that people come with all their excuses why you can't do business over there. They're not aware you already have your own business in Asia working. By the time they find out you have your own business in Asia, uh, you people are going to say, but this guy always talked about doing business with Asian people. He just forgot to tell you guys already had the business. So you hid yourself in plain sight. You didn't show them, hey, this is my business in Asia. This is the address of the shop over there. You didn't do that, but you did show them that you were active in Asian business without actually telling them exactly what it is you're doing. So that's how you hide in plain sight. When you hide in plain sight, you didn't lie to other people. You just didn't reveal everything. But here's the thing: nobody requested you to reveal everything. So if people get upset because they find out something about you that they're not happy about, if you were always open about that same thing, about the same context, they're going to have a hard time accusing you. But let's say now that, for example, you have a guy, and this guy's on the down low. So he's a covert sodomite, doing his sodomite things. But in public, he is this family man. Now, when they found out he's down low doing his things here and there, in bushes, meeting up, and all this stuff, people are going to be quite upset, and they're going to turn on him. But what if this man always was talking about when he was young, he used to experiment all of that, and from time to time, still thinks back about his young days when he was experimenting sexually here and there. Now people will also remember this guy was also about experimenting all of that. So when it comes out that he was living this other lifestyle behind the scenes, they'll think, ah, well, he was always talking about experimenting here and there, so it was to expect it. So in this case, the down low sodomite was hiding in plain sight, and because he hid in plain sight, when the actual thing was revealed, people could not actually blame him. Evildoers take advantage of this. People, they're always blunt into your face. They don't care how they affect your feelings. They would always say, at least I'm honest. They're not honest. If they were honest, they would admit that they affect you a certain way and that they wouldn't appreciate others did it towards them, and they would change how they communicate with you. It's like being blunt to everything out there, saying it's honesty. Oh, but it works in the world to some extent. If you just escalate verbally and abuse people verbally, then say, I'm honest. It doesn't work all the time, but it works often because you're hiding your violence in plain sight. Now, if you were acting nice in someone's face and behind their back, you were murmuring, complaining about them, people say, what type of cutthroat individual are you? But if you are actually in other people's face showing negativity, people should be upset with you, but because it's in plain sight already, you got familiar with what you were doing. So hiding in plain sight is the best way to operate. Pagans do it, and elite do it too. The elite are not hiding how pervert and how pathetic they are. They're not. They're showing you it through their symbolism. They're showing it through the way they speak. They're showing it through all the dirt about them they pay folks to leak out. Even the way they set themselves up, they show you that they are part of Satan's pity party. Now, so that when it comes out that they were involved in child sacrifice, pedophile rings, or all this, or war crimes, if people get upset with them, then they can tell the public, "But we guys always showed you how pathetic we were. So why did you guys revolt and throw us down?" And that is true. Even though it's a form of blackmailing the public, but it is factual. The public should have noticed how pathetic they were. Why they didn't overthrew them? So listen, hiding in plain sight is used by evildoers in the wrong way, but we as believers can use it the correct way, as it should be. So don't go out there revealing everything about yourself. No, but also don't go out there hiding everything about yourself. Being a private person, that's quite dangerous. Hide in plain sight. Is this clear to you about hiding in plain sight? Let me know in the live chat. Do you understand about hiding in plain sight? Let me know. Let me know in the live chat. Mhm. All right. That's good. I'm glad you understand this. Hide in plain sight. I'm sorry, but why are you talking about gray men? What heck is this? Favorite grace. Please leave comments that are related to the topic, please. Thank you very much. So now we're going towards another missing persons case. And this time we're applying what I just taught you here about hiding in plain sight. About, yes, let's start. All right. So hold on. Let me just share the screen. Screen sharing. All right. Let's see if it works. Yes, it's working. So, all right. Can you all see the web my display? I mean the screen recording of my display? Let me know. I want to make sure this is working properly. All right. Okay, people can see it. Okay. The Guardian, British newspaper, they use blue. Blue is the color of authority, dark blue. So they are serious about the authority they have. They have no authority over me, but anyway, here you have red. Red means they want something from you, so they want your attention. So when they put a link, they will make it red. That shows it because it's a color that triggers urges in people. All right, so I'll start reading. It's similar to what I did yesterday, but we're going to apply hiding in plain sight over here. And you'll figure out why we're doing this soon. So just let me make this a bit bigger. Okay, okay. That's enough. This article is more than 11 months old. Thank you. I know that already. But anyway, let's continue. Father hopes to reopen case of British woman who disappeared 20 years ago. Reopen case, so they closed the case. Okay. Louise Curtin went missing in 2001 after traveling to stay with her boyfriend's family in Germany. All right. This is the father, the mom, and this is the missing woman. Here's it's a note here. Phil Curtin and his wife Kathleen hold up a poster of their missing daughter at the Ostende train station in Belgium while trying to retrace her steps in 2001. Photographed by Peter Mainhout, likely a Belgian citizen, but okay. Again, missing persons case. Remember, I told you about missing persons cases. They're often inside jobs. They're often stuff that the public doesn't want to be resolved. And I'm going to use Google Maps very soon, just to illustrate certain things. But anyway, let's begin reading. 20 years, because this article is from 2021. Yes. 20 years since the disappearance of Louise Curtin, who traveled to Germany to holiday with her boyfriend's family and disappeared. Her father is looking for fresh leads. Well, fresh leads after 20 years, I don't think that's actually possible. It would be cold leads, but anyway, so that's the context. You have I believe she was 23-year-old white female going to spend holiday with her white family-in-law, future family-in-law, I mean, because they weren't officially married on paper yet, even though that's just a wedlock thing, but you get what I'm saying. And she disappeared. Okay, let's read further. Phil Curtin is hoping publicity to mark the anniversary might trigger memories or encourage police in Germany, the UK, or Belgium, which she is supposed to have traveled through via rail and sea to reopen the case. Which it is what he said. We just like to know what happened. Maybe somebody remembers something. I've kept the same mobile phone number in hope she might one day call, however remote that possibility is. Okay, there's a father who's quite upset that for 20 years he's not certain what happened to his daughter. Okay, okay, let's continue. Louise, 24. Oh, my bad. She was not 22, she was 24. 24 failed to turn up following a 5-week break with the family of her boyfriend, Peter Simon. It is German, so it's Peter Simon, but anyway, in the village of Strasfeld, near Bonn, where she had gone after failing her nursing exams. Also, this one, okay, this woman was in a crisis in her life. She failed her nursing exams. And remember, you have to pay to do those exams. So there was money that was gone. And yeah, that was not a happy moment in her life. Then she went on a 5 week break. Did I read that correctly? Yeah, she went on a 5 week break to Germany. That's more than a month. Well, you can assume to process failing a nursing exams. Remember, she was about to marry the guy in the future, so she was there to meet her future in-laws, and she just failed exams. But okay, let's continue. Simon's mother, Ramana, said she had dropped Louisa off at Aachen train station on the 30th of July 2001, from where she planned to take a train to the Belgian port of Ostend and from there a catamaran to Dover. Okay, so let's come with Google Maps right now, shall we? Hold on, let me do it on this side. First, I need to zoom out because I don't want Google Maps to show my location because I don't want any gang stalkers to feel motivated to come near here. Not that they would be able to, but you get what I'm saying. So let's go to, okay, it's zoomed out right now, so I can show it over here. One moment. Here's this the city I am in, The Hague in the Netherlands. I've been going to Bonn. Bonn used to be the capital of West Germany till Germany was unified in the 1990s. But anyway, yes, this is Bonn, Bonn, Germany. This city over here, this whole city over here. You have the Beethoven house over there. Actually, it's below Cologne. By the way, my Google Maps is showing things in Dutch. So Keulen is the way how you say Cologne in Dutch. Okay, so it's below Cologne. Okay, it's in is it North Rhine-Westphalia? Yes, it's North Rhine-Westphalia. That's where it's at the Rhine River. And this is Aachen. Okay, so the mother of the boyfriend brought her to Aachen over here, and she planned to take the train from Aachen through Belgium, go to Oostende. Oh yeah, here's this Oostende right over here, and from here Oostende, this port city over here, she would take a catamaran. Catamaran is a type of ship with a long sail to end up here in Dover. All right. Okay. There is something problematic about this. Okay. What do you think is problematic about this scenario? Just let me know in the live chat. I'll give you 2 minutes to figure it out. I may be wrong, but there's something disturbing about this scenario over here. How she was supposed to go back to Britain. Let me know in the live chat what you think. I'll wait. I'll I'll give my estimation soon, Wolborg. But first, I want the people to answer. What do you think is disturbing about this scenario? 1 minute and 40 seconds. I'll wait to get some answers. There are no wrong answers. If you don't know, you don't know. But just make a guess. Just attempt to make a guess. Nobody's going to laugh at your answers over here. Oh, someone is sending. Oh no, you can't see it. Okay, that's good. Some. How do I say? Some hacker tried to send me a phishing email from Apple, even though I'm not even using Apple. But anyway, Yeah. Someone asked a question. There's a link between people missing at a low point in life. There is a link between it. Okay, I'll just wait 1 more minute to see if anyone can come up with any idea what's disturbing about that scenario. Born near Cologne, go all the way to Aachen to get the train through Belgium to go at this tiny port city, Ostende, to take a catamaran, not even a ferry ship, to Dover. Hmm. I'll leave the map like this so you can figure out what it is I mean that's disturbing about it. Let me put it like that. I'm gonna say it anyway, but I just want to figure out if you would get any close to it. hmm Walbrook, you're getting close. You're getting close. You know what? Let me just spill the beans over here. Boom. Cologne is a city with international flights. All right? It is. Now, if she wants to go to Britain, okay? Remember, let me zoom out. Here's London, a metropolitan area with many international airports over here. Why not travel from Bonn to Cologne, which may take an half hour, and from there take a cheap airplane back to London, or maybe to Manchester or whatever place in Britain? Oh, and here's the thing: from Calais, there are ferries departing to Britain. I did it during high school when we went to London for a high school trip. We went to the bus all the way to Calais, and Calais there are ferries going to Dover. And besides, there's also a tunnel underneath. So if she was about to take the train, why didn't she travel from Cologne to Brussels? And from Brussels, she took a train that would go all the way to Calais and go below the sea to Britain. If she wants to take the train anyway, take a train in Cologne from Bonn to Cologne. And from there, you can just transfer at Brussels and be the same day in Britain. That's much faster than first waiting on a catamaran to sail you all the way to Dover. So that scenario does not add up. You have cheaper options, faster options, more logical options available. Oh, and don't forget, this border area over here is also a place where a lot of trafficking, human trafficking is happening. All right, so just so you know. And there are satanic rituals happening in the south in here also. So this area over here is known for pagan sacrifices, pagan rituals, and human trafficking. So, but that aside, it's a bit weird. Now, let's go and read further. Oh no, there's something else. Okay. However, no witnesses have ever been found who saw Louise at any stage of the journey. There's speculation as to whether she if ever got on the train. Well, likely she didn't. A popular German podcast that concentrates on cold case took up the cause last year, that's in 2020, prompting renewed interest in disappearance in Germany. Oh, of course, people in Germany forgot about this 20 years ago. But look, Simon, who is half German and who shared a home with Curtin in Broadstairs, Kent. Kent is this um, area over here. It's called Kent. Let me just type it in over here. Broadstairs, going towards it. Oh, this is Broadstairs over here. As you can see, it's near the sea. Are there any ports over here? For some reason, it doesn't. Okay, let's go up. So Simon lived with her here in Broadstairs. So still, there's no logic to go to Belgium to go to Dover, go from here. Go to here, catch the train, and you can go all the way throughout Europe if you want. But anyway, let's go further. Had traveled 2 days ahead of his fiancee, boyfriend. No, his fiancee. So they're engaged. So 2 days ahead, before Louisa would return from Germany to their home in Britain, that guy left 2 days ahead. Why? From Germany to UK to pick up some building materials the family had ordered. What? Hold on. I don't want. Listen, I'm not trying to be sensational over. Let's leave it again. Simon was half German and we shared a home with Kerton in Broadstairs, Kent. Had traveled 2 days ahead of his fiancée from Germany to the UK to pick up some building materials the family had ordered. He went to Dover Port on the evening of 3rd July when she was scheduled to arrive. Okay. Building materials. Couldn't building materials wait? Couldn't they deliver them a bit later? Okay. Carrington's sister, Francesca, whom Simon subsequently telephoned, said he reacted strangely when she didn't turn up. You think? Okay. Let's think about this all. And I want to show you a picture of the woman in question. Let me see, Louis Carrington. Okay, hold on. For some reason, that can you please hold them up? I'm in. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? I don't know why the audio went off. Okay. Well, I don't know why the audio went off, but I'll continue right now. Let's see how long did you hear any audio. Oh, it's just recently. Okay. No audio, then there's audio, but okay. Now think about it. He goes from Bonn all the way there. But the fiancée, the woman by herself, have to undertake the dangerous journey to cross all through Belgium, going on the sea by herself with strangers to meet you in Dover. Okay. Oh, and when she does not arrive, oh, you think she must be dead and you begin to cry. How come you think she must be dead? Come on. Maybe she missed maybe she missed the ship and she's over there. I mean, you have phone numbers, right? I mean, it was 2001. You already had cell phones back then. You had no smartphones. Smartphones did exist, but were not that common. But you had cell phones. I don't know why the sound went off because I didn't turn off the sound. But anyway, I'm continuing over here. Let's read further. Another sister, Angela, said in the following day Simon told her that Louisa's ghost had appeared to him. So hold on a minute. The evening your fiance should arrive, she doesn't arrive, and you think she must be dead. Why you think? Why are you so? Um, why are you so negative? And then the next day, you say you see her ghost. Okay, let's read further. At his home in New Ash Greens near Seven Oaks, Phil Carton, now 76 and a retired manager for Blue Circle Cement, is surrounded by memories of Louise. Hold on a minute. Blue Circle Cement? That seems like a construction company where the father in law of Simon was working. So why didn't you order your construction materials from the company where your future father-in-law was working? Or why could you tell your father-in-law, listen, I ordered some things, can you please arrange something for me? Nope. Okay, alongside photographs of her with siblings and her ceramics, plays, houses, and a totem pole that he jokes is so heavy it's hard to move when he cleans. She was artistic one, he said. Her teachers always said she was a puzzle, so attentive and interested, but she found it hard to present her work, which they said was always a miss. She was diagnosed with dyslexia and found art to be an effective way of expressing herself. She had been born prematurely at 27 weeks, Catton said. She spent 8 to 10 weeks in an incubator and we weren't allowed to touch her. Back then, that was the rule. Nowadays, they encourage the contact. She had regular hospital checkups until she was 4. She was very small for her calendar age and very special to us, he said. When his daughter vanished, he and his wife, Kat, put up missing person posts around the ports and stations of Dover, Ostend, and Aachen. Wow. They went abroad. They did a lot, retracting the route Louise was supposed to have taken. The case generated considerable publicity at the time, not least because Lisa had been at the same school as Lucy Blackman, the 21-year-old flight attendant who was murdered in Japan in 2000, and whom Louisa was apparently friendly and separately also later attended the same school as Claire Tiltman, who was stabbed to death in 1993 at the age of 16. But whose killer was only convicted in 2014. So hold on. She was at the same school as another woman who was murdered in Japan. And she later attended another school where another female was later stabbed to death. It seems like a pattern over here. Why is it that in both places when she went to school with, there were other women who ended up being killed, and now she went missing? Hold on. Let's continue. We had talked about these cases a lot. She grew up very aware of them and of the distress they caused their families, said Gerton. So the woman who disappeared, Lisa, was aware that these things happened, that those women went to school with her, and likely she was friendly with one of them. She knew one of them. In the initial weeks after Lisa's disappearance, police in Kent, Belgium, and Germany were slow to act. In Kern's opinion, Louise was over 18, and Kerton believes that from the official point of view, there was no reason to think anticipations might have happened to her. It was more likely she had sought a new life. Hold on. This woman had a house with her fiance in Britain. They were planning to get married. She went to Germany to meet her family in law. And you'd say she just started a new life? What proof, or maybe not proof, but what evidence is that suggests she wanted to get away? So, okay, now let's continue. But we knew our daughter. She was a loving, caring person close to her family and friends who always remembered birthdays, who called us regularly, but she seemed to have vanished into thin air, Carton said. Police did take an interest in Peter Simon's older brother, Michael, who had once been acquitted for murder in the UK. Oh, so the brother of the fiance, I mean, the brother of Simon, so it means the future brother-in-law of Louisa, has been acquitted for murder in the UK. Okay. Her father said Louisa had a calming influence on Michael, was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Kent police said the inquiry into disappearance was not their responsibility and to contact German police in Aachen said they passed the case onto the state police, but that was not an active investigation. Wow. So they were dodging responsibility on all levels. Look, she lived in Kent. So she was a missing person from Kent. So the police in Kent should at least have done something. They can't just say it's not their responsibility. It's one of your citizens living with you. Aachen said, okay, the state police of the Bundesland has to do with it. Well, why would Aachen not take on the case if one was last seen with you guys? It's logical. The local police, where the individual disappeared, they're the one should take up the case. Okay, let's continue. Bob Moffat, a former superintendent with the Scotland Yard. Scotland Yard is kind of the headquarters of the British police. Okay, they call it Scotland Yard, though some historical tie with Scotland. That's why. But let's continue. Whom the Cartons hired as a private detective in late 2001, said 2 decades on the case remains one big mystery. Moffat believes it was his presence and that of Davies, the former head of Royal Protection, whom the Cartons also hired, that put pressure on German authorities to search for Simon's house, as well as nearby gravel pits, though it took them until September 2002 to do so. Nothing was found. So let me get it straight. In 2001, this woman goes missing. I believe it was somewhere in July, uh, on the 30th of July. Okay, 3rd of July, in summer, this woman goes missing, and the family have to hire a private investigator who used to be and superintendent at the Scotland Yard, and they hired another government official. And it's only when the government officials with experience, all those with police experience, put pressure on on Germany, that the German reputation was at stake, that they were pressured to do something, but they only did it a year later, a year, 2 months later. Of course, you can't find anything a year and 2 months later. Come on. The Simons have always insisted that no member of the family had anything to do with Lee's disappearance. Moffat had retained his interest in the case, and although he said he believes, based on more than 50 years of experience in investigations, that Louise is most probably dead, he has kept all his files in hope that one day the case can be solved. Moffat and the Carters have repeatedly criticized the Simon family for failing to cooperate with police and have highlighted what they consider to be inconsistencies and unanswered questions in their accounts. The Simons have since moved out of their home in Strasfield. Pa- Peter Simon is rumored to be living in Switzerland, so they know where that guy is. Kat died of stomach cancer 10 years ago without ever learning what happened to her daughter. We live in hope of one day learning the truth, said Carton. He contacts the police whenever he hears of a potential new information, such as last summer when Christian Bruckner was named by German authorities as a main suspect in the Manuel mechanic case. I said to them, please take a look, though, to the range of cases he may have been involved in, he said. He still has the handwritten letter Liz wrote to her parents, dated 20 July 2001, 10 days before her scheduled return to the UK, which was their last message from her. In it, she writes, I'm keeping well, having a lovely time in Germany. It's very green here. The weather is nice, don't worry about me. He remains puzzled by what he referred to as its brevity and neatness. Her letters were almost always long, with lots of things written in the margins, and though her dyslexia, lots of crossing out and improvements, he said. So, that's where the article ends. But the last part of the article, she wrote a short letter to her relatives in Britain. Remember, she had dyslexia, so she would write messy letters. How come she writes a letter quite brief and neat right now? Was the letter even written by her? I doubt it. Because if you had dyslexia your whole life and you always wrote a certain way, you not suddenly, once you go across the border to Germany, suddenly you write perfectly and very neat. Does not happen. Does not happen at all. Now, remember what I told you about hiding in plain sight. Who was hiding in plain sight in this case? Let me know in the live chat. What do you think? Who was hiding in plain sight over here? All right, I got one answer. Someone said her dad did. What do you mean by that, Joe? Well, the boyfriend, the future husband to be, which he never became, he he showed involvement from the start. He did. He even suggested she might be dead. Okay, let me give an example. If I spoke to a fellow believer to meet me at the Hague Central Station, and I'm at the railway station, and the train arrives and doesn't come out, and I'm going to think, oh, he must be dead, something bad must have happened to him. No, I'm going to call him, or I'm trying to wait for another train. So what I'm pointing out here is that there's another thing. There's another group hiding in plain sight. The Kent police. Listen. I do not care that the situation happened near Bonn over here or in Aachen. That was your last scene. The United Kingdom back then was part of the EU. It's not anymore. But as part of the EU back then, Louise Kenton was also an EU citizen. And based on EU law, they had to make effort for her. So the Kent police was wrong. And by the way, how come it's the families that had to make effort? Why didn't the British authorities make any effort for the case? So just think about it. The local police of your area where you live, you disappear, and they say, okay, what happened overseas? At least communicate with the police overseas. They didn't do any of that. Understand the following. In this case, I'm not making any judgment on the Cantons nor the Simons, whatever, but in this case, the people here involved were a bit private. If she never disappeared, nobody even known that those people existed. They only went public because the daughter was missing. Now yeah, you didn't actually, you had MSN Messenger you had back then. You didn't really have social media like I have today. But even without social media, it's always good to let more people know about what you're doing. Again, I'm not telling you to tell everyone what you're doing, no, but let more people know. Right now, as we can see, it's the mom and dad and siblings of the missing woman that were the ones making most of the effort. What if Louisa would have shared with a few more people in her life? Maybe back home, or maybe some international people that lived in Netherlands, whatever, that she was what was going on. You had cell phones back then already. She could have sent text messages. If she would have done that, there would have been more people interested, and there would have been more pressure, and much more would have happened. Right now, the relatives had to make effort and took a year and 2 months where action was taken. So in this case, the whole idea of privacy, you can see how it turned out bad. Look, privacy is not power. Prudence is. Now, somehow, what really bothered me about this case was that the woman was in a crisis in her life, and she went to meet her family-in-law during this crisis. Hold on a minute. Just hold on. Why was it? Oh, let me stop the screen sharing very quickly. Why was it that she went to see her family-in-law only after the crisis? I may not know have all the information, but when you're in a crisis in your life, it's best to retreat and process with a few people around you. So she was not certain about her future as a nurse. She wasn't sure about her future income. So this might have been a financial strain on the couple. Because remember, a wedding costs money. To also when she graduates, she goes to work, takes money too. So her not passing her exams was a financial setback too on the couple. So could it not be? I'm not here to speculate, but could it not be that the financial strain on the couple might have been a key factor in the boyfriend or fiance leaving earlier and she coming 2 days later? Was there an argument going on there in Germany? Did they fell out? Did the boyfriend decide, you know what, maybe I don't want to stay with you anymore, and he just left? And did the mom try to negotiate with the son and all of that? It sounds like something went wrong when they were there in Germany. And if that was the case, my thing is, this may have happened. I'm not sure about it, but it appears that she, the one that went missing, she did not continuously communicate with her parents nor her siblings. You can say, but she's a grown woman. I don't care that she's a grown woman. I don't care that you're an adult. You need to be in continuous communication with several people in your life so people are aware of you. Because maybe you don't see something bad in a situation, but others do. So so she sent a letter thing. Why do you send a letter to your parents if you can just call them? Hold on. So you have money to cross all the way to Germany. You're planning your wedding ready, so you're saving money aside. Your boyfriend ordered some construction materials, so money is there. Why don't you just call your parents or call your siblings? Why so secretive? Look, I'm not blaming the victim over here. No, I'm not doing that. But I'm just saying this attitude of privacy can get you killed or it can get you in trouble. Because listen, I'm not a psychologist, so I don't want trolls to keep complaining in the comment section. I'm an anthropologist and I'm a sociologist. And let me tell you one thing. I also have historical knowledge, also have knowledge of how human beings tend to act on a social level. No man that decided this is the woman I want to spend my life with. I want her to meet my family so that they know she's the one I'm choosing. I'm already living with her. I'm serious about it. No man like that is going to leave his wife to be behind in another country just to get some construction materials and then expect her to cross a whole country all by herself, including a sea. That means you wanted to get rid of her or you wanted to escape. That's what it hints towards me. Oh, and right now you're not available. People can't reach you because it's assumed you live in Switzerland, so people don't know where you are. Why don't you come out and say, listen, what happened to Louisa, I don't know, but hey, I moved on. I have a new family now, but I'm still thinking about it. I still want to be solved. Why doesn't he show himself? Why doesn't he show any interest in what happened? Listen, saints, this privacy thing, please unlearn it. Good. You conceal data when required. Whether it's at work or whether it's at home, you conceal data when it's required. But don't live in this fairy tale that You are this independent, sovereign creature with a final will. That's a fairy tale that will not benefit you. You are a human being with a mortal, fragile body, and you have stupid human beings out there willing to cause harm to you because they want to relieve themselves. And they're not always people far away from you. So make sure there are always several people you're involved with that get updates about you. You don't have to tell them a whole report of everything goes on, but make sure people are updated about you one way or the other. That's another question we will ask. Why did he get with her in the first place? Now, in this live stream, I didn't intend for us to try to solve this case because that's not what we're here for. We have to learn from this case. You can't be so concealed that nobody can get any update from you. If that's the case, you're in danger. And this is not the only case where such things happen. There are many men and women who go missing every year. Or and some that are found dead, some of them we don't know whether they died or not. And what you notice about those people is they either went through some transition in their life. In her case, she failed her exams, so it was a transition whether or not she would continue her education as a nurse or not. And she was about to get married too. She was engaged. So there was a non-transition. Either they're in a transition about to have a breakthrough, or they recently had a breakthrough in their life. I told you before, when you are in a transition in your life, you're at your most vulnerable, even on a spirit level. You're the most vulnerable during transition. And it's how it goes. The parents described their daughter as always being happy, cheerful, ready to help. She's artistic, so she had talent. Now ask yourself one thing. If she was so artistic and all of that, why didn't she do anything with her artistic abilities? Why did she chose to go for to become a nurse? Matter she maybe she loved helping people, liked helping people, all of that. But hold on a minute. If her strength was in artistic way, why wasn't that encouraged? Why wasn't that something the people endorsed about her? My question now becomes, why did she even fail her exams? It could be because of stress. It could be because uh, other stressors in her life. But hold on a minute. Wasn't she living with her fiance in a house already? So if there was a stressing factor on her that hindered her from passing her exams, shouldn't a stressful factor be something in the home, named the one she was living with? Was maybe not the boyfriend the reason why she failed her exams? Or maybe it is that she chose to become a nurse because she knew that she wouldn't get support chasing her artistic side. That may be another reason also. But in any case, something was wrong over there. And she herself did not on time address what was wrong. If the fiance you're with stressed you out with his attitude, and because that you failed your exams, well, that's a reason for you to break the engagement and leave that guy. Okay? If your own relatives don't actually support your talent, well, you may need to keep it at a distance and look for someone who does support you. That makes me think, was the boyfriend supportive of her artistic ways, which was her strength? In this case, there are multiple red flags. As outsiders, we're far from involved with the people in question. We can clearly see there were too many things that were off. And this is what I want you to learn from this. Anytime in your life where you notice things are not going that well, or you notice that there's some stressor that afflicts you, be real about it to yourself. Also, talk with others about it who are outsiders who are able to reflect on your situation. Because this disappearance, I believe she's dead. I can't prove it, so I'm not going to say she is dead. But yeah, 20 years, I think she's gone. But look at this. This disappearance, this tragedy, didn't just happen out of the blue. Oh, she suddenly didn't come home. Oh, no, no, no. This is something that was boiling up. There were warning signals. And by the way, the schools she attended, what type of schools were they? Were those schools with a lot of negative tension? Were those schools where pagan sacrifice was going on? Because one type of juju, yeah, voodoo, you have juju. Voodoo is the highest spellbind there is. Juju is just a way to trigger events. Juju is something used to trigger events. It's also African, if those was used in ancient China also. Because remember, the Chinese people are descendants of Canaan, and Canaan was a son of was a son of Ham. Ham or Ham is from whom the Africans come forth. So Juju is a type of spellbinding in which you trigger events, often negative events. Voodoo is about having a grip and binding the population, often locals also. There are schools, companies, institutions where they do tragedy spells. They enforce tragedy spells on the people. Now, why tragedy spells? Tragedy binds people in a narcissistic way and works well in the public. For example, your son can go to a high school, but later you realize that almost all the children who went to that high school, later as adults, most of them end up with depression and health issues in life. Or maybe it's another school over there, and most of the girls that went to that high school end up as sodomites or end up being sexually loose in the streets. Now, this is what one should understand. There are organizations where you have satanic agents doing juju on the area. The juju is to trigger bad events amongst amongst the public. So if she went to two schools, and from each school there was one woman who ended up being killed, and nothing happened to her yet, that should have been an eye-opening thinking, hold on a minute. How come I attended two schools, from each school I attended, there's at least one woman that ended up being killed? Okay, just because you were at a school and one fellow student over there became the victim of a crime does not automatically mean that all of you are going to be victim of a crime. I'm not saying that. But if you've been to two schools and from both schools that you went through, there's a young woman that gets killed, there's a pattern over here. Okay, maybe the other women were not killed, but what type of issues are they facing? Yes, there are satanic agents doing juju in place. That's why there's certain places out there. The moment you walk in, you feel quite suicidal, or you feel quite dense or depressed. It's because there's juju being done over there by satanic agents to trigger tragedy amongst the masses. And so if you go to such a place often, the juju will affect you, unless you're a believer walking by faith. They may even destroy the juju. But here's the thing: in the Western world, you can't talk about such things, especially not juju. Voodoo is something they don't even want to discuss. They say, oh, it's just a fairy tale those Haitians are doing, even though their whole white supremacist system is run on voodoo. Juju is something they don't even want to discuss. And here's the thing: this woman obviously was haunted by something. And that picture of her that they put out there, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm exaggerating, but that smile she showed, well, I don't get a very okay. I see she's smiling, but I feel there's some hidden she's suppressing some sadness or some worry in her facial expression. It may be me, but please look at the picture yourself and make your own conclusions of it. I know when it's, and I don't even know when this was taken. Okay, so that's why I say to believers all the time: be prudent, be flexible and practical. Unlearn those satanic coping mechanisms of the world, standing up for yourself, privacy, boundaries, all that. Forget all that narcissistic bullshit, please, and do what actually benefits you in the long run. I dare to say, if this woman kept more contact with maybe some international students she used to know or whatever, and she would update people on a more regular basis to be more talkative about the circumstances, this would have likely not happened. Because the more people are aware, the more they can intervene or the more they can do something. Or what if this whole meeting with the family never happened? What if they went to Germany, but there was no family awaiting them? What if the guy just got rid of her somewhere in Germany in some forest over there? Because remember, it's a kind of a mountainous area with a lot of forest over there. So what if, okay, let me share the screen again. Okay. Again, this is just a theory. I hope I'm wrong. But what if he got rid of her and dumped her somewhere over here? And by the way, there is a national park around here called Eiffel, I believe. Yes, National Park Eiffel. Okay, with a lot of forests and lakes and small rivers. What if he dumped her somewhere nearby over here between Bonn and Aachen? And what if the whole story of her getting on the train, all of that, to get a catamaran? Why a catamaran in Ostende? What if that was all made up? That seems more realistic than her making this way through Belgium. And let me tell you one thing about Belgium, the train connections are not that well in Belgium. I've traveled by train in Belgium, and I can tell you, train connections in Belgium they're not that well at all. They're badly organized there in Belgium. With a lot of delays and all of that. So her making all this effort to go through Belgium, why she could just take an airplane over here, or she would have gotten on a train from Cologne to Brussels and then all the way to Dover or London or whatever. It seems like this whole family meeting, which took around 5 weeks, why does it take 5 weeks to get to know your family in law? I'm sorry, but the story is too off. And the fact that the family of the boyfriend had inconsistent statements shows that they're in on it. Oh, but there's another thing over here. There's nothing over here. Where are the people that used to know her from school, high school? Where are all the other people she met during her lifetime? I mean, okay, I don't expect British mainstream media to pick up the case, but all those other people she encountered during her lifetime that know about her, why didn't they get upset and make effort or do anything? And if they did, why did they just talk about it behind the scenes? So it isn't just the family in law or the future family in law that's suspicious. Also from her side, I'm not talking about her immediate family, her mom, her dad, and her siblings. The community around her where she grew up, why didn't they make any effort for her? Makes me think that maybe some people are glad she's gone. I get the impression as if some of the people in her home community are glad she's not around anymore. So that's what I mean. As a human being, you are a vulnerable creature and you need to operate as part of a community. So stop this privacy, my life, I decide I will nonsense. Oh, it's none of other people's business what I do. It is their concern because first of all, you affect other people, they affect you, and if anything goes wrong with you, it's the public that needs to be aware to do something. Again, another thing, why this just like the case of yesterday, when the police does not show any interest in a case, the police of Kent, mean the British police of our home province over here. Well, not really a province, but anyway, they said it's not it's not their responsibility. What? One of your citizens is missing and it's not your responsibility? The boyfriend lives with you guys over there? Let me tell you, when the police does not show interest in a case like this because they know that the public is in on it somehow. The police ain't stupid. If the police realizes that the public is in on something, then they also realize if we expose this, it's going to be a lot of unrest in the community. And who's going to be blamed? We're going to be blamed. The Belgian police didn't do much because the Belgian police would have realized from the start this whole story of her going, heard this whole story of the boyfriend leaving 2 days ahead to pick up construction materials and her coming later to Belgium is nonsense. So they figured out this woman was never in Belgium to begin with, so don't even begin with that. The police in Aachen realized something's wrong with this case. How come nobody saw her? And there were security cameras already back then. You get me? They may not have been advanced footage like today, but it was already um, security cameras in public back then. Maybe not as much as today, but they were. So the police in Aachen likely realized very quickly, huh, this woman was never here. So okay, Wolborg left a comment over here. So let me check it out. He said many people didn't like her because she was dyslexic. I know a lot of people with even small issues get treated harshly. Sometimes having disabilities could lower your social status in schools. Maybe lack of friends. I know this was an issue attending high school here in the UK. Oh, Wolborg, you're from the UK. Ah, nice. Well, her dyslexia and likely her being a bit aware of things may cause people to make her a target indeed. So in that case, we can say that this was an inside job by the local community she was living in. As simple as that. So okay, whatever the case is, it was an inside job. Because the lack of interest from the Belgian, German, as well as British authorities says enough. But anyway, do you understand now why I keep telling you that you need to look at the bigger picture? You need to ask the proper questions and understand this. I don't care that you're a grown man or a grown woman. Let some people be aware of your whereabouts. You don't have to tell everything to everyone, but at least let there be some updates available about you. So do not follow this privacy is power nonsense. Prudence is power. Being sensitive to the effects the presence has on the future, that is powerful. And that's how we need to be as believers. Well, it's been over almost 1 hour and 20 minutes. I want to thank you all for being here for this live stream, for attending this class. And listen, if you have any questions about this topic, please ask them right now. I'm not going to sleep at all because it's weekend. And by the way, I was free today, so no tax issues I had to process today. So I want to you if you have any questions, please ask them. Because of this live stream, I'm going to fellowship through the phone again. Yes, I love the fellowship as much as possible with fellow believers. Because worldlings, especially worldlings in the after the pandemic that happened, they can become quite toxic very quickly. So I've nothing against worldlings. I love all human beings as God wants me to. Even the reprobate ones, I've loved towards all of them, but I won't walk with all of them. Especially on reprobates. Well, okay, I walk in love towards everyone, but I don't walk in love with everyone. That's how it should be. Oh, indeed, it's a Shabbat. The Shabbat it just began over here. Praise God. Any questions over here? So, God is good. His mercy endure it forever. All right. Wolborg, um, could you please send me an email and just tell me how you're doing? Um, I just wanted to do an after fellowship by email, maybe by phone later. if you're willing to it. So Waldborg, please email me. We may fellowship briefly by the phone one time in this weekend. I'm fine. Just for all of you now, keep on agreement with Christ, be at peace, and I'll see you next time. All right.